up, y'all? It's your girl Sakina, and I'm back with another review. This is my review for Put a Ring on It. This is season 3, episode 3. I know y'all can't see me today, and I decided to do something different, and that's because your girl is just all over the place today. I'm trying to get my life in order. I don't know, I just was moving super sluggish today, and I had to go down to my uncle's house twice today, and I've just been trying to really get focused and centered, and I just haven't been able to do that. But I'm like, look, girl, you got some YouTube work that you need to do, so you need to go ahead and turn your TV on, because I kind of been putting it off all weekend. But anyway, yeah, I just didn't want to do the most of getting on camera, making sure I look right, and, you know, pulling out the ring light. All of that just wasn't in the to-do list of today. So I did want to put these videos out for y'all, period. And I just don't want to show up on camera today. So it's okay, y'all. Like, ain't nothing wrong with me or nothing like that. I just decided to switch it up and give y'all a little podcast feel today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So it picks up where it left off last week with Alfonso and Shay, and how Shay was saying that she didn't like the excitement that he was giving another woman, and that she had finally seen that for herself. And she said that it wasn't about the date that he had last week, but my whole thing is, sis, you definitely took it out on her. Actually, I had tweeted that last week when I was watching that scene. And, you know, it was very cringy, and I was very disappointed with Shay. And I had tweeted that, and she actually responded, and she was like, facts, like with a couple S's, honey, in all caps. And she was like, I was doing too much. So my whole thing is, girl, just don't let them see you sweat. If you're going to act the fool behind closed doors. But doing all that, chasing her out the door, telling her to button up her shirt, not giving her handshakes and things like that, that's rude, sis. And you was definitely taking it out on her. And I think her name was Chantel. She had a lot of patience with you, because literally, I told y'all, I would have been up out of there. Like, you know what, y'all can keep this. We're not doing none of that. Like, that's not what I'm here for. So anyway, she said in her confessional that trust and infidelity is their number 2 issue. I'm assuming that number 1 is the family issue. And she said that hours had went on with their date, and, you know, that just kind of made her mind wander. So Dr. Nicole is saying that infidelity usually happens when they're turning away from each other, they're being dismissive, or trying to seek new identities. But I'm like, hold on, wait, Dr. Nicole, you forgot to add selfishness, because sometimes it's just the fact that that person, the cheater, is not being considerate of their partner, and they just want to do what they want to do and fuck everybody else. I said, girl, listen, Dr. Nicole, you needed to add that. That was a major factor. Anyway, enough of them. We get into Kenneth's date. And he was saying that he was just real anxious about it, because we know him and Shorty was having that big blowout about him sending her bank statements to his phone and all of that. So Shorty was like, yeah, I don't really think that he was attracted to her, but ma'am, you are definitely wrong, because he said that he was. He just couldn't give her, you know, the energy. So Dr. Nicole tells them to be mindful of internal sabotage when it comes from partners. And Kenny was like, he doesn't really think that Shorty is trying to sabotage him. But when they are at odds, she treats him like he doesn't have any good in him. And I said, that's because, baby, when it comes down to Mad Day, all of that shit overshadows any good qualities that you have. Like, what do you mean? And honestly, she's a fool to still be with you. But whatever. We start talking about Otis's date. And he said that he loves his date's traditional values. As we already know, his eyes lit up when she even used the word traditional. Child, girl, okay. So Charlena, there we go. Y'all know I'm still trying to get her names together. But Charlena says that she really likes a 50-50 type of situation. And Otis is saying in his confessional that no, he didn't say that in his confessional, but he was just saying that he's willing to take on more of a load to make it easier for her. I was like, no, you definitely like to control. This whole make it easier situation, no, you just using that to fluff it up. No, because at the end of the day, she feels like she's not being heard. You like to control things. You ain't trying to make it easier for her. You actually making it harder for her, because that's not even her type of style. So anyway, he thinks that she really wants it both ways, and he's saying this in his confessional. He said, you know, sometimes she tried to be all sweet and submissive, and then she tries to be in charge, but that causes a lot of conflict in the relationship. And she just said sometimes he'll say things like, I'm not going to talk to you about this, and this is what it is. Excuse me? You're not my parent. Don't tell me we ain't gonna further discuss this and it is what it is. Like, you putting your foot down in something that we supposed to be agreeing upon. I think the fuck not. You better talk to me with some damn respect. And that's the problem right there. So Charlena really thinks that different perspectives could help them because his traditionalism affects them. Girl, that man is set in his ways. I don't see him changing up. So good luck with that, ma'am. Anyway, the men have to make the decision whether or not they want to go on their second dates. Ken doesn't want to go on the second date. Child, why I'm saying Ken like I just know him like that? We are not cool, Kenneth. Kenneth said no. I be saying stuff like that because that's what I have in my notes, just to kind of, shortcut it or whatever. Alfonso said no, and Shay is happy about that, of course. But Dr. Nicole is like, are you going to allow him this space to have this process? And she was like, she don't know. Basically, she ain't going to make it easier for the girls. Listen, ma'am, especially after how you was acting next week. Ooh, baby. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week, though, for real. But anyway, we going to focus on this episode. So, Otis said no, he's not going on a second date. And Charlena seems to think that Otis is on his best behavior. And Miss Ma'am, know that he is not, okay? But, girl, just wait on it. Anyway, everyone is going on dates this week with the exception of Alfonso and Shay because they need to have a one-on-one, a little damage control sit down with Dr. Nicole. So we get down to Kenneth's date. And one thing about it, he gonna put on a collared t-shirt. I said, baby, listen, not even a collared t-shirt, a collared shirt. I'm like, where is your t-shirts? Because all we ever see you in is a damn collared shirt. I mean, you like what you like, but sir, you are definitely giving job interview vibes. Can we switch it up, please? Sir had his collared shirt tucked in, okay, with his khaki pants and his Oxford shoes. He was ready to answer them 5-star method questions. Like, oh my gosh, please stop it. Anyway, did I say 5-star? I meant to say star method questions. Anyway, child, so he goes on a date with a woman named Maisha. Come to find out, she's also a radio personality. And she said that she's not a home wrecker, but baby, it's free game. So she gets to the door and her and Shorty know each other. Not only do they know each other like on some in passing type shit, she used to be Shorty's intern at work. Baby, they are co-workers or ex-co-workers, and that's a lot, honey. That is a lot. And just like Maisha said, baby, this is definitely awkward. So they get in, and Maisha said, sis, let the best woman win. What? Talking about, I don't want to say that, but that's exactly what you're trying to say, sis. So Shorty is wondering if she needs to be worried. Girl, worried? Shit. Shorty, ain't nobody trying to take Ken away from you. Hell, I shit. Anyway, they pull off in a slingshot, child. I said, listen, since you keep talking about let the best woman win, you gonna be the next sugar mama. You can have them. So they get on this date and they eating crab. And Kenneth was saying that he's an entrepreneur, but right now he's a general contractor and he's also a food blogger. I said, red flag, baby, because you know what? When people say entrepreneur and don't follow up with what kind of business they have, it gives unemployed, baby. And Shorty acts like you don't even have a job, Tommy. So I don't know. And you know what? I'm feeling like, baby, you don't even got no damn general contracting job. And I'm feeling like you ain't a food blogger either. Simply off the fact that we know that you're a liar. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Come to find out, both of them are Geminis. Crazy. That further explains why the way he acts the way that he does. So she asked him what his flaws were. And this is where we established that he's a liar, okay? He said that his flaw was how big of a heart he has. I said, oh, literally, that's how I screamed out watching the TV, y'all, because I'm like, did this fool just say it's because of his big heart? It was giving Frank from Ready to Love. Remember, somebody had asked him that too, and he was like, yeah, that was his flaw as well. One thing about it, y'all gonna lie y'all damn asses off, and I was not here for it. He said it was really him thinking that people have the same compassion as he does. I said, oh, see, this is part of the reason why you need to speak to people's exes, because they can give you insight on shit that you are not privy to simply because you're going off of what this person is telling you. And of course, you're going to try to sell yourself in the best light, and you ain't going to reveal your craziness until y'all already locked in. Like, no, listen to the women. If anybody is trying to reach out to you, ex-wives or whatever, and try to tell you about this man, trying to give you some warnings, take heed to that, because listen, this man just sat here and lied with a straight face. Meanwhile, we, the audience and Shorty, know that he's crazy as hell. Anyway, he says that he could be open and honest with both of them, but the thing is, with both of the women, but the thing is with Shorty, she comes with drama. That's because you're a malicious psychopath. What are you talking about? So sis is doing the most, talking about he's the perfect catch. Girl, you can catch him all you want, and I'm sure you're going to drop his ass like a hot potato once you realize that he crazy as fuck. Moving on. Otis's date. So he is horseback riding, and we see his date is DJ Milan. She's a DJ somewhere around here in Atlanta, and they bond from being from the east side. They actually went to the same high school together. And did y'all notice that sis has her own confessional? Yeah. And y'all know usually when you're having a second date, that's when you get a confessional on Put a Ring on It. So yeah, pay attention to that. Sis definitely had a confessional. Oh, well shit. That ain't no secret because we seen her in the previews for next week. So anyway, she says that he looks like an Otis, a strong black man, and I want to throw up, okay? Now, one thing about it, I'm not going to shit on the name Otis, and that's simply because one of my favorite great uncles' name is Otis, and he was a good man, really, honestly, and truly. R.I.P. to Uncle Otis, I love you. I said it's more like insecure, manipulative man, but go off, sis. So, at the end of the day, she invites him out to one of her shows, and he said that he likes that she's into the arts and he's into the arts, so he really wants to go. But he doesn't want to rock the boat with his date just yet. I said, oh, that's the key words right there. What do you mean just yet? So you going to put that in your pocket so you can come out with it later on? You want to save your active food card until later? Oh, my gosh. Child, I don't know what to tell y'all about these men. So anyway, Dr. Nicole meets up with Alfonso and Shay. And Shay is saying that her problem is the lack of security and that's where the trust issues really come from. So we find out that Alfonso is actually Rick Ross's manager. And that explains his wardrobe. Remember, I told y'all he looked like Jerome from Snowfall mixed with Rick Ross in his fashions. And that's exactly where he got it from. Hell, his twin. So, she said that she doesn't like how he allows things to play out and that she doesn't have proof, and how he says that she doesn't have proof no matter how it's portrayed. So she said that she doesn't want to marry a man that doesn't take infidelity serious. And a woman on social media had messaged her saying that, or messaged him saying that she really cared for him. This is according from Alfonso. And then Shay corrected him and was like, actually, she said that you were the love of her life. Okay, let's go ahead and tell the real story, because you know people love to lie and make stories seem like it's something that it's not. So they have a picture together, him and this woman, and she even called him one time when him and Shay were together. Now, in his confessional, Alfonso was saying that, you know, he was wild when they were dating and he had some women or whatever. So just anything that comes up, Shay is going to look at it like, aha, I told you that this was happening type shit. And Shay was like, yeah, I just don't like the way that you handle situations. So Dr. Nicole is telling them it's all about boundaries. Like, if you don't have good boundaries, then people are going to roughshod. That's the word that she used. She said that people are going to roughshod because they're going to see that what y'all have isn't worthy of protecting. And it's like, yeah, if you're allowing these women to be in your space and you're entertaining them, then yeah, obviously there's no boundary set, and they're going to feel like they can come and go as they please and they can do whatever the hell they want and not have any type of respect for Shay and y'all's relationship. He just said that Shay just needs to trust him. But my whole thing is, sir, your history shows that you're definitely not trustworthy. So you can get out of here with that, trying to make it seem like it's just that simple. So he says that he's going to work on not being so accessible to these women. But Shay is looking like, nigga, that's just another way for you to be creative. And I'm like, she's not, like, you're not going to set other boundaries for other women, Alfonso, at the end of the day. And I say that simply because of the way that he has this whole situation playing out with his mama. Like, you ain't going to set no type of boundaries for nobody else. Anyway, Shar goes on her date. And is it me, or did y'all notice that they was in a whole nother house? I said, is this an Airbnb, or was y'all filming out of one of y'all mama's house the first date? Like, what was that? This was not the same house that y'all was in. But anyway, she wanted to know details about his date. And I'm like, so you didn't ask him that the night that he came home? Okay, whatever. He didn't really want to give any details. And she was saying that, or he was saying that it would be ideal to share with her, but he knows that it's not going to go well based off of past experiences. And I'm like, no, you're not giving enough detail and trying to avoid it. It really gives that you want to make it seem uninterested so you can play with Milan behind the scenes. Like, no. And the thing about it, Charlene had already clocked you on that. So, yeah, she's not buying that. It was just so casual and not as interesting as you trying to kick it. So, her date gets there, and his name is Brent. I don't know. Anyway, he's taking her to a pasta making class. And I could appreciate the least that Otis wasn't trying to do the most that he was doing last week with her other date. So, Brent wanted to know where Charlene is seeing herself in 5 years. I said, oh, y'all know I hate that question because it is so interviewy. Like, can we just relax a little bit? But anyway, she said that she sees herself with a family and he sees himself the same way. And he's saying that he's also preparing for a congressional run. And eventually he wants to run for office and tackle economics in the Black community. And Shar is eating this up, and she's like, I've really never been into a guy or dated a guy in politics, but it's interesting, and she likes the fact that he's very smart. So she asked him if he's traditional, and he said that he is, in a sense. He just does want his woman to not what? He does want his wife not to work, but it is an option. So if she wants to work, he's open to that. And he said that he doesn't like the word submissive because it gives off servant vibes. He just feels like men will have to submit as well. Like, there may be things that men or your wife wants you to do and you may not want to do it, but at the end of the day, you're going to submit. So he just really feels like it's a two-way street. It goes both ways. And you should be with somebody that you want to do things for. And I said, okay, period. Now, he's racking up points with Shar, and he was racking up points with me as well, but I also have to keep in mind that homie is a politician, okay? And we know that they are very charismatic, and they have a way with words that's a part of the job, the trick of the trade. So, baby, you got to keep your eye out on them politicians because they got a way with words, okay? Yeah, we already know about that, so you gotta keep an eye out on Brent. But anyway, I like the date because at first I was like, baby, it's not really giving, especially with this 5-year plan that you got or questions. I ain't like that. But once they started talking about those things, I was like, okay, I can see that. Now, Shorty in Hollywood, they go on their second date, and she said she wanted to go on another date with him because he's attractive. Girl, okay, so he asked, has she ever thought that she stayed too long with Kenneth? And she was like, baby, I tried to leave him so many times. And then she gives us another backstory. She said that she had moved out at one point, got her a new crib, and then he pulls up at her job and follows her from work to her new place. And she didn't know that she was being followed. So then she said that one group of her friends was like, girl, this is some crazy ass shit. And then the other group of her friends was like, oh, girl, my man wasn't even trying to fight for me. Are you crazy? Those are the group of friends that you need to toss in the trash because there's no fucking way that I would ever condone that or think that it's okay that my friend is being followed from her boyfriend. That gives psycho killer. Like, I'm telling y'all, I'm a worrier. Like, dead ass, when I hear stuff like that, if I ever heard my friend tell me a story like that, I'm going to be worried for her. And I'm going to start thinking about all the crazy shit that can go down just because I know now that this man is crazy. I would be promoting her, leaving him every chance that I could get. No. So Hollywood was saying that shit was crazy too. And he channeled his inner Dr. Nicole, saying that men are dogs and that, you get a puppy that peed on the floor, you put his nose in it, you spank him one time, and he don't do it again because he don't want that whipping. But this dog, he keep pooping because he hasn't learned his lesson. I said, you know what, Hollywood, you right. And he's gonna keep being the same way because she gonna keep taking him back. If you done tried to break up with him so many times and you keep finding yourself in this situation, shorty, sis, what do you think? So anyway, he then asks her to bless the food, and at this point, she's losing it, honey. She said in her confessional, like, God, baby, I asked you for a fine piece of man that listens and putting in that is putting in his self-work. And I'm just like, girl, okay, here you go. Like, she fanning out and shit. And he was asking if she loved God, and she does. And he was like, all right, because I'm an usher at a church. And he tells her that Ken needs to get his shit together because good products don't stay on the shelf too long. Like, girl, listen, at the end of the day, he is not your end all be all. And I'm like, you need to tell her that for real, Hollywood. I could really appreciate him in this moment because he was trying to give her some sound advice. He wasn't trying to run game. Like, he's a man. He's trying to tell her what it is. Because at the end of the day, Kenneth is trash, and I still don't understand why she's with him, but that's her business. So she's feeling like she met her match with him the first time she met Hollywood, and she likes him a lot. Girl, now she did say that she feels like he came into her life for a reason, and I said I do believe that because he's definitely telling her what she needs to hear and that she needs to get the fuck out of that situation. Because like I said, sis, that is not your end all be all. But let me tell you something, your end all be all ain't gonna be Hollywood, okay? No. Hollywood is in a relationship. My friend, and I forgot to mention that on their first date, my friend had sent me a TikTok of him and his new bae like 2 weeks before the show had aired, and I had totally forgot to mention that. So yeah, girl, your end all be all is not him. Why you sitting there fanning out and gawking all over him because he fine? Like, she told him that he was attractive too many times for me, and I don't like when women overly gas men up. Like, no, don't be pumping their ego because then that's when they really get to showing their ass. No, ma'am. Dr. Nicole, they all get together and meet up with Dr. Nicole, and Charlene is like, I'm interested to hear about this Miss Milan lady because Otis ain't give her no detail. So we get straight into Otis's date, and he thought that Milan was definitely attractive, and you know, he appreciated her looks. And I'm like, you putting 20 on 10, but okay. He says that he doesn't think that attraction comes from that though, or a connection comes from attraction. So they went to the same school, and that created comfort because it's like being with a person from his hometown. And Dr. Nicole notices Char's body language, and she's annoyed because she really feels like we set up these rules to tell each other about our dates. Meanwhile, I'm sharing and he's not. He's deciding not to tell me certain things, and I feel like it's a double standard. So she feels like, you know, you can scold and punish me for not saying enough, but, you know, you're not saying enough. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad that she knows that that's what he's doing, because it definitely was a punishment type of situation, and scolding her when he was asking her about her date, the whole throwing the flowers away, making her eat leftovers and not giving her no food that he cooked, and then him eating that food all casually, meanwhile she's crying like, oh, girl, you knew that he was basically treating you like a damn parent. I did not like that. So Dr. Nicole notices that she used the word scold, because that is how she feels. And Otis is saying that it's not accurate. And he said that he doesn't know how to feel about what she said. And maybe Dr. Nicole can help him with that. Excuse me? And that's a problem. I said, what the hell? That's a problem, because you see nothing wrong with your behavior, and you really don't care how your actions have affected your girlfriend. Like, that is very telling. And I need Charlene to really pick up on that. So, he said that there were times where I haven't scolded her, but she feels like I have. And at this point, he's feeling like Charlene is feeling a way about stuff that didn't happen. And then he goes, because trust, when he said that, there's times when I haven't scolded her, that stuck in my mind. I said, oh, okay, so there has been times that you scolded her. So he then asked Dr. Nicole when they was going to talk about Charlene feeling a way about stuff that didn't happen. I said, now, nigga, you trying to control Dr. Nicole too? Baby, your slip is showing, and I'm glad that it is, because people need to realize how you behave. This is your true character, and now it's on display. So, Dr. Nicole was like, we can't deal with Charlena, we can't deal with how Charlena is feeling about something that didn't happen because it's coming from you. And at this point, he's getting annoyed with Dr. Nicole, and he gives her a sarcastic ass thumbs up, like, yeah, you got it type shit. Like, just shut the fuck up about it. That was his attitude towards it. And Dr. Nicole clocked him when he said, there's times where I haven't scolded her, meaning that there has been times that you have scolded her and it came out your mouth. These are Fendi facts, bitch. So he said that, she was telling him that you have to be the one to see that there's something happening within your communication to make her feel like a child, to make her feel childlike and that she's being corrected. So he begs to differ in his confessional and thinks that Char is perceiving it that way when she's not getting her way or she's not taking accountability. And then she likes to classify it as being scolded. And I said, no, I actually think that you're the one that's projecting because that's the way that you're behaving. Like, look at how he's acting. You're not getting your way, so you're being short and nasty with Dr. Nicole. You're being dismissive towards your girlfriend. You're not taking accountability for the things that you've done to make her feel this way. So yeah, you're projecting and describing yourself. Then he also says in his confessional that when she says he's talking to her like a child, he thinks that that's a part of her self-awareness and that her actions reflect childlike behavior. If y'all don't send this nigga somewhere, I don't know what to tell y'all. This man is disrespectful. He thinks that he's always right. There's nothing that he's done to affect his relationship. Like, what? He's manipulative. I could not do it. I cannot do it. Like, Charlena, you know that you in a fucked up situation and you know that you need to get out of this. I don't understand what it is about this man that is making you want to stay, making you consider marrying him. Y'all don't have the same type of relationship style and you don't need to be with a man like that. And I would tell any woman to run for the hills when it comes down to Otis, Kenneth, and Alfonso. Like, no, I don't understand. I don't know why y'all want to marry these niggas. None of them have redeemable qualities. None of them are worthy of having the title of y'all's husband. Like, please, there is a better way. I would rather be alone than deal with all of this shit. But if y'all like it, I hate it. So anyway, that was the end of the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. It was terrible. It was a good episode. But just watching the men behave the way that they behave is terrible. And Otis can go about his business. Like, dead ass. Charlena, no. Shorty, girl, call the cops. Call the cops. 911 is the number if you need it, Miss Ma'am. And I also need you to go ahead and get a restraining order because if you can be stalked by your boyfriend, woo, it's a no for me. And Shay, at this point, I'm believing that Alfonso got something going on with his baby mama and them women that you continuously see in his DMs. But you know what? I've said enough. Let's get down in the comments and talk, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this review along with the episode. My next videos might be like this as well because I do have to do a Love and Marriage Huntsville video and then I have to do Candy and the Gang. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll just see if y'all see my face at some point in one of those videos. Just not right now. Anyway, like I said, let's get down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.